Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 round. Famine will approach between the south. We got here Johan, fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. The 7th Armored Division versus in the north. We got here, give me 1 second, your life you'll call him though. Gerhardt, fighting here for the Oberkommand West, Germany, Deutschland, the 12th SS Panzerdivision, Hitlerjugend. Will Luftwaffe, Spec Ops, and Lead Armored versus Vanguard, Advanced Emplacement and Special Weapons. 1 Sturmpanier to Medical Supply Bulletin and 2 Infantry versus 1 Vickers and 2 Infantry there for Johan. We got a full score start here for Gerhardt with more following up there versus a Universal Care section start there for Johan. Moving west and northwards there rather rapidly. Quickly also setting up sandbags around the centre victory point while also against slowly approaching there. We can also see that Gerhardt is aiming for the northern fuel point and also setting troops southwards. In this case, will it catch the section there, do some damage to it. Probably in this case, push past the house there, go flank them through the fence. Good job. They're quickly doing a lot of damage to the section there and getting a kill there also very rapidly. So a bit of a rough start in this case. We also send the Sturmpaniers here to further flank behind them, catching the section. A pretty bad spot there. And there we go, forcing retreat. University almost done. More force there aiming for Gerhardt, moving up for the cut-off point there. Fuel point there looks like we're secured and sort of dug in there by Johan with the section. And the University there hits the battlefield for king and country. Point there secured. Fuel point in northwards. He actually abandons it, so he's not going to defend it. Which again means he's not expecting his opponent to sort of hit forward or just doesn't care. Otherwise, we've got the University coming up there. We've got the Bren gun firing away there at the Sturmpanier, doing a bit of light damage there. And there we go, rushing straight up. They're pushing around the Sturmpanier so they can't fire back. Third full squad on the way there for Gerhardt, with the Vickers on the way there for Johan. Sturmpaniers in this case will have to retreat. There's a section firing away at them. Plus, in that case, just constantly pushing about there. Long term, that is not going to be sustainable there for the Sturmpanier. So, I mean, he's rendering the point neutral, which is what he's wanted to do. But he did suffer some damage, but at least it looks like he doesn't suffer any wipes. So we can actually just quickly fix that with a bit of munitions being used on medical supplies. Grabbing the fuel point there. With a section not fully reinforcing southwards. Curious choice there by Johan. Put it around the centre victory point there, that's coming in, but without Panzerfaust, he can't easily do a lot of damage to it very quickly, so he can't actually punish Johan for this. Sturmpaniers there again, half health. He should definitely down the medical supplies there. Vickers moving up then again, using the Madcare to push about there. Bit of a dirty trick there. Shots fighting the Sudswalks was the section there. Nothing happening with the Sturmpaniers. Again, just lay down some medical supplies. Maybe calling it a trap. We got a Kednef here. That's also move. And then go medical supplies. Certainly would not make any sense that, you know, he'd go for that bullet and then not use him. Particularly again, but it would save him, you know, plenty of manpower. There you go. Troops ready. Moving out. Fighting between the south here, between the Fultz gunners and the section. North half here, we got points being secured with the Fultz. We actually got a second Vickers out there for Johan. So a double section, double Vickers University built here is a bit unusual. Bit unusual. Okay, over there arriving. There we go, almost got it knocked out there. I imagine Gerhardt here will next aim for a Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. Could be a mechanized Redding here, could be a Belgroup headquarters versus Johan. More sandbags there, sitting out much more close to his opponent's space, very threateningly and aggressively there. Grabbing the point there. Sturmpaniers been gaining here the Vickers, sort of flanking it, though no way of sort of really clearing out, so depending on how it goes, the Sturmpaniers will be forced to switch. But there you go, active Vickers shifting about here, that actually gives the Sturmpaniers on the edge. At that point, forcing down south, needs to retreat. In fact, they could be wiped. They've got a Kednef opening up in the house as well. Vickers down to half health, Fultz then, so no time for any Brandhandgranaten. Got a bit of northern harassment up here from some of Gerhardt's Volksgrenadiere. Actually ends up between the Sturmpaniers because there's a second Vickers then carrying the flank of the first one. Nice work there by Johan. Overall gaining map control here versus Gerhardt, certainly leaving him in a bit of an awkward spot on there. We got Tech up. With this timing here, I am certainly guessing it's going to be the mechanized regiment. He's going to try and go for looks possibly here versus Johan. Punish him with the light reconnaissance tank there. Centre victory point grab. University getting northwards. We've got a Wasp flamethrower being added. The Wasp, I believe, was a Canadian modification that caught on with the rest of the Commonwealth Army. Little fun fact there. Sappers on the way there. Help and repair, and possibly also the other things. We've got the armoured car being repaired. Now he actually is going for the battle group headquarters. Bit of a surprise move there. By Gerhardt. At the time, and again, I think he'd just go for the mechanized regiment, but he isn't. I mean, in that case, he could have had possibly a bit sooner here as an opponent. Maybe had some Panzerfaust or anything else there sooner versus Johan. That might could have threatened him better, but there you go. Then again, with all the Vickers on the way, he might be thinking he wants a light infantry gun to sort of bombard them, sort of keep them a bit more in check, which wouldn't be a half bad idea either there for Gerhardt. Now the play here over the 5-minute mark has to go for a doctrine. Then we get to make sort of choices there. Trenches being done on the fuel point. So I can make it difficult there for Gerhardt to get it back. But of course, again, the northern half is open. And it could, of course, be he's just going to ignore this for now. Again, not an attack into a fortified position. Instead, head for the northern half, which is notably less defended. Again, we got sandbags, but notably no trenches. So, I mean, that could be, I think, a overall better choice there for Gerhardt instead of wasting resources on this and time for that matter. And time is another resource in an RTS. You got armored cars ready, but he's yet to go for them. He might just be holding it in reserve in case the opponent does go for the armored cars or anything like that. Or he might, of course, decide if he doesn't need it, he's just going to try and take a hit more aggressively. So this feels more like, you know, maybe a bit of insurance, which isn't a half bad thing. But there you go. Guardian must care. The Wasp is kaput, leaving the entire area on fire. Folks going to be advancing. Alright, Ludwig, keep your head down. We don't need to blow up like Jürgen's over there. I'm still alive. Not for longer, Jürgen, not for longer. And there you go, the lightest infantry ships are arriving. Grabbing the northern point a bit apart while they're heading for the fuel point. And also some harassment in the south. We actually got some pretty deep flanking there from Gerhardt. That's actually pretty interesting to note. That's a bit of a rarer sight there, but good to see, good to see. Some players still practice. There we go. He's launching a double sort of assault here on the trench tank from the north and the south. In this case, allowing the folks because there's Marines. In fact, the deep flank partially acted also as a distraction, allowing the other squadron to rush from the front and cleared up and then incendiary grenade. That's actually a tactically, I think, very solid assault, while also at the same time making another distraction assault on the eastern fuel point, or northern fuel point, they can call it. Oh, he might be too preoccupied there and could lose the section here. That would be a big loss, and certainly a win there for Gerhardt. Johan has gone here for Vanguard, and there goes section wiped. Definite win there for Gerhardt. Very nicely executed attack there. Very nicely executed. Vicker setting up there. Needs to bombard that with the lightest infantry shots. Well, we should have about 6 per company, the heavy company in an infantry regiment. Got a nice chart actually for that. Little fun fact there. So there you go, bombarding away. It's meant to help clear up sort of fortified positions, sort of more direct fire. Popping a incendiary grenade on the entrance, good work there. He's trying to get up and actually end up being too late, and nope. Barely gets away there, close, but not quite there for Gerhardt. Still, Johan is rather low in units, but there he goes, actually been saving up here for the Thought logistics slide. He's going to be calling in the officer, and that could also mean commandos. I mean, some players just, you know, only go for the officer and never use the commandos, but that's actually kind of simple. You can get the commandos for pretty cheap, and they are pretty good. Are they glad that they're flying about? Sections teaming up with the Student Pioneer up north for attacking here his northern holdings. Forces their back for healing reinforcement. We got another light infantry gun, so he really wants to counter those Vickers machine guns. Plus he's going for medics there. Student Pioneers for sappers, and there we go. In the south here we got the air landing officer spearheading with a few commando chaps. There's silent Sten guns at the ready. Up sappers with the Student Pioneer. Folks that got the southern fuel, and we got the commandos slowly advancing. And they're not so slowly advancing, but going for the officer charge. Charging straight ahead to hit the folks. We've got an incendiary grenade on the trench in case that's pop. We've got a light gun bomb there. But there you go, it wears off, and now they're out in the open. This is a lot of Fultz grenadiers with a lot of angry Germans amongst them. And there you go, of course, the rifles as well, which is probably the most important bit. And the commanders, they're partly due to the persuasion of the light infantry guns, are pushed away there, but we got a full commander squad on the way there for Johan. That's going to put more pressure down Gerhardt at the moment, who's, shall we say, not quite fully equipped to deal with that many heavily armed and very well trained Brits, or well, other chaps as well. They actually had numerous sort of commanders that were not of English origin, many from occupied countries. Little fun fact there.
Our forward position has been destroyed.
There you go, reinforcing. Commando's almost done. He's also using it a fort retreat point, rather interesting. Mines up here, good work. Vickers holding out there to defend the northern victory point. We can see this with Gerhardt again. Through a few nice tactical moves, actually managed to stabilise the battlefield situation quite nicely versus Johan. And there you go. He's adding a lot of the severe lead infantry to the battlefield. And again, he can get there for pretty cheap. Again, with the 350 manpower commanders again, which are pretty tough. There you go, Fulton fire from the section off and landing off supporting. Fulton there, a Kednev under fire. Light infantry gun supporting. A machine gun wouldn't be a half bad choice here, but there we go. Officer charge, in this case only the officer himself charging, where the commanders are not given that privilege. The regular, and there you go, lightning gun there getting a hit. Commanders are continuing to hit, they're Fulton firing away. One squad retreating, one hand grenade off, but misses the mark. Sturmpionier moving down. Commanders continue to tear through them with their silent Sten guns. Officer moving up support, but he's also low in health, could be focused down and murdered. Light infantry guns just continue to blast away. There you go. Close, but not quite, not quite. Commanders there, low on health, continue to charge the Sturm Pioneers. Kind of risky, there we go. Dropping like sacks of very expensive meat. Because ultimately, they're sacks of meat. Doesn't matter how much you pay for them, they're not going to stand and move about on their own. Big setting up, the Sturm Pioneer under fire. Got the line for guns there pushing ahead. No, this was the old model. By 1944-45 they're introducing several new models of the lightest infantry shoots. And generally they all seem to have been based on anti-tank guns as well, which I find rather interesting. There you go, artillery fire there trying to silence the Vickers machine gun. Truck moving down, that'll probably be the Schwerpanzer quarters to help defend him his fuel point from any harassment there from Johan, and certainly also put a stop to any commando and take. But there you go, big push again. Commanders, officer, section there, folks there. There's likelihood they're being wiped. Ooh, got a hit there from the light infantry gun, there we go, officer charge going off. Which pretty much means they barely take any damage, and they also get an accuracy boost. Plus, of course, they get to sprint. It's a very powerful ability. In fact, I would say a bit too powerful. They need to look into a bit to the whole received accuracy element of it. But there you go, wears off. So in this case, Johan popped it too soon, and that ultimately means they're worn off by the time, you know, again, they get up close to the Germans, at which point the Germans can deal with them decently. Almost lost a commander squad there. That's going to be a bit expensive for Johan. No tech up yet for Johan, in fact. That's a bit of a mistake. He's aiming for armor here versus Gerhardt, who's setting up the Schwerpanzer quarter a bit further back. No sign of doctrine from him still. Some orbital down there would not be a bad choice here, though. Some more elite infantry to counter the British elite infantry. I think would do him a lot of good. Quick one-hand grenade, which he throws rather poorly in this case. Jürgen, I told you not to throw it too far. Jürgen. There you go again with the going rush by the officer. We got the commanding Suffolk because they're firing away, but low on health and close to death. But there you go, light gun bomb goes off, blowing up the interior of the small house, but it is still standing. More harassment in the east again, good work. They does keep an eye there on harassment opportunities versus Johan, trying to take advantage of again his focus here, so that's a good move I think there by him. Still no take up though for Johan, allowing Gerhardt maybe to get out a tank faster than his opponent. Though he's still floating manpower. He could also just go for Luftwaffe and call him Fallschirmjägers. I mean, those are, you know, viable options versus his opponent. So far none of that. Oh, no, still no take up there. Briefly looked like it, but it's just me looking incorrectly, it seems. Well, I imagine the thing is more likely. Still, he's going to reconnect the northern fuel point as well. Good work there by Gerhardt. That would allow him to more quickly get out some armor versus Johan, which again is so far not tacking. I mean, he's playing for the Crocodile right now. That's silly because that's way too far off there to be a viable strategy there for Johan, without again conceding a lot of ground and momentum to his opponent. More light gun bombs there. It was sort of a particular grenade that was sort of more like, you know, how much plastic explosive did you stuff in it, you know, it's sort of like that. So if you put a little in, it would be an anti-personnel grenade. Put a lot in, it would be an anti-tank grenade. It was also a percussive grenade, meaning it had no fuse. You just threw it, you know, hit target, went off. Finding up north here. Lines are going fine. There go. He's going for the orbital and finally I feel could have had those out sooner here versus Johan and the 7th Armoured. Johan, by the way, still not taking out. I'm a bit mystified that. Also known by the as-bolts, the sections have larger sizes. More men per section. Volksgrenadier sitting out. I can't have hanging back. Oberstleutnant halfway done there. Volksgrenadier holding up the house. Interesting enough, noting no machine guns for Gerhardt here. No MG34s. You can see on the hand he's setting up the Vickers at sort of more vital corner houses that way, trying to defend the victory points from harassment. Of course, it also means they're isolated, which is a bit hazardous. But there you go. Charging forwards here under light infantry gun fire. Volks are doing what they can, but there's only one window to shoot out from. It's not really like they can do a lot. Another push down south here. No Vickers to support those chaps. So we can quickly flush them out with an incendiary grenade there. And we go. And finally, the Oberstleutnant are done there for Gerhardt. Just need a bit of ammunition so you can get equipment with the LMG-34. Light cannon bomb again, and retreats just in time before the entire thing collapses. Entry up, of course, they're holding a flank from the officer. And still an attack up for Johan. He's definitely missing out. He's going for grenades now, Mills bombs. For the rest of his men, not a bad idea either. He's only got 2 sections, so I am less sure how much that adds to him. In particular, when he just trying to take up. There you go, he takes up. Though again, it could have been a misclick there, I suppose. But, I mean, it does mean, of course, his infantry sections do pack a bit more punch versus the German infantry. Just a bit surprised with the timing itself. On the other hand, it does very much look like, again, to Johan's mistake, that Gerhardt will be able to get out of Panther 4. Even a Panther, possibly, versus before Johan get out any armour. So Panther might be a bit ambitious. There we go, LMG-34, section charging here there, offset charge, but again, he pops it very quickly. He pops it possibly again too quickly, but they might be able to get the Volks to retreat, and that course might be his plan all along. Except he didn't. There you go, light gun bomb off. Oberstleutnant just quickly falling back towards safe position, also screen here. We're going to push up the east here. You can see Johan putting up a lot of pressure on Gerhardt, whose forces are actually a bit scattered here again. Not infantry, and certainly no armour either, or any support weapons to deal with it. There you go, light gun, or Mills bomb in this case, almost right. The Volksgrenadiers, good throw there. Almost, and there you go, close quarters light infantry gun fire there. Sandbags crumbling under German artillery. And the Oberstleutnant certainly aren't helping the situation either. Still, Johan taking a lot of map control, but again, I would say he's rather failed sort of pushing it fully by again being so late in taking up. He could rush out a Cromwell, he could also rush out a Centaur, but considering again the old situation, how late he is, I'd probably recommend a Cromwell in case he was opponent actually no guess for tanks, which Gerhardt is, rather than a Centaur, which at this stage would be very silly. I mean, if he's got a good, timing over, which again he could have rushed out a Centaur, but at this stage, he's going to have to go for the Cromwell to have a standard chance there versus the Panther 4, because the Centaur is just going to get obliterated. In particular, seeing Johan has not actually gone for any anti-tank weapons either. In this case, silencing the Vickers machine gun. Simply finding the high explosive shells going off. We got mines down. He's using here the charges to clear out any cover there. Also to make it easier for his men to move about there, I imagine. Quickly falling back there. Should mean they're not finished. And there you go, Panther almost down here for Gerhardt. And there you go, another officer charge. More cover clearage there. Also blowing up the outhouse. Good lord, did you have to blow that up? Terribly sorry, miscalculation. I can't breathe. I'm doing what he can here, hitting points around there as well. Bit of harassment, counter harassment, but there you go. We got the Panther 4 out here for Gerhardt and 12th SS, the Panther Kampfwagenfeuer. Smoke screen down here from the officer and his retreats. Well, not much of a smoke screen, just a smoke grenade. Pinned map machine there being added to the Panther 4, Model J. Rolling through the smoke. Section there. Light cannon bomb there. Also a quick retreat. Gerhardt they're not taking any chance. And there you go. Johan going for the Cromwell tank here to help deal with the Panther 4. Pin machine halfway done. Still no doctrine though from Gerhardt. I mean, at this point again, there's not really much of a benefit. And you could go for the armor just to have heat rounds. You could go for spec ops, for more for the Oberstleutnant. You could go for Luftwaffe, for Fallschirmjägers and other things. There. He just needs to go for doctrine. In this case though, Johan just going with getting his Panther or Vickers out of there, and the Panther 4 annihilates it with a few well placed shots. Another push here, but again we can see Johan is perhaps been a bit too confident, and thusly is actually very undersupplied in anti-tank weaponry, and thusly Gerhardt's Panzer IV is really powerful right now because there's absolutely nothing that can really harm it, which is certainly important. We can see he continues to clear out any cover there, and he's trying to make it harder there for Gerhardt to take ahead and defend any territory. Section there, push back. Panzer IV there, landing on the scene, shoots and gets a kill. In the south, the Kron moves up for Johan, just reinforcing. Still no further anti-tank. They could go for Firefly, which supporting a Kron will not be a bad choice, but in this case, he's aiming for a second Cromwell tank here. But there you go, Rickenden fires back, damaging the Cromwell, ready to fall back with that one. And another big push up Norfolk. Big-ish, small actually. And Norfolk's there, hitting the fuel points and resources there. Panzer moving back forwards. Shoots gets a grip, then the Cromwell actually halfway to, well, actually close to it to one, not even halfway, it's more than there. Just needs to deal with the offset there. And there you go, smoke again. You know, Lieutenant, maybe we should try using those smoke grenades for other things than covering our retreats. Maybe we wouldn't have to retreat so much. Shut up, Jenkins. I'm the lieutenant here. You shut up. Cromwell there, done number 2. That's only going to be a problem there for the Panzer IV. Certainly, you know, encourage then the elite armoured again with the heat rounds. Again, the heat rounds would give the Panzer IV a better chance of actually facing off against the Cromwells, increasing penetration and heat damage, meaning overall it would have a much more equal chance versus 2 Cromwell tanks. We'll have to see it, but still, he hasn't chosen a doctrine by now. Again, that's not good. Fult's going to be on retreat here. Got the officer and the commander moving ahead. Throwing a lot of manpower there. Could go for machine guns, Obersoldaten. I mean, there's certainly several things they could aim for, but again, he's just floating resource. But there you go. Second Obersoldaten squad and booby traps. Excellent. Wunderbar. There you go. Sturm against here with the double Cromwells. There's 75mm guns firing away. Almost got the Sturm Pioneers. And he's actually using raid operation. Such a underutilized ability by the Brit, but again, very powerful. Again, allows from decap and cap territories. Very fast, which is actually really important, powerful. But there you go, one Cromwell engaging not very well. There we go, completely knocked out. And there you go, he pops heat rounds. He's gone for lead armor. He's actually using heat rounds on his Panzer IV. Amazing. That is actually amazing. It's one of those abilities that tend to get very underutilized. But again, can give you a Panzer IV an edge in these cases. Of course, in this case, like Kednerfer altered it a bloody lot there for Gerhardt. Otherwise, Panzer IV is now a lot more of a threat to Johan and his tanks. Because again, it now has the ability to just better be able to penetrate and just do more damage. Plus, again, it's also increasingly getting more veteran. Up north here, Fultz versus Officer. Also, quick correction. The accuracy bonus here, version 2, does not apply to machine guns, just scattered for the main gun. So I made a mistake there and I was corrected by one of my viewers. So I just want to point that out while I was at it. But there's a bit of an important distinction if it actually doesn't help the machine gun or not. Plus, scatter also makes a bit of difference as well. Trying to crush it. Very close there to Veteran T2 though. Got the Cromwell upon this south, quickly falling back again like Kedner. There's a bit of persistent threat there from grenade. Almost got the Fultz there, but in this case Gerhardt was able to dodge it with some finesse. Are we going for Sturmtiger next? You could also just go for more Panzer IVs. You could also aim for a Panther. I mean, they're all viable options. As for Johan, I mean, Cassius could help a bit. And again, aiming for a Firefly now would, I think, be a pretty good choice. I mean, again, in particular, the Sturmtiger ramming the Firefly would do a lot there versus the Sturmtiger or Sturmmercer, which is also what is known as sort of assault mortar. They'll find fact there. Better two than the Panther IV, though, increasing accuracy on its main gun, plus turret rotation. Got kind of being ambushed here, but the Commandos taking lots there from the Panther IV. Cromwell moving head section, officers all charging there. Go heroic charge. No! He's popping raid operation here. But there you go. A Panther IV. They're damaging the Cromwell, preventing it from pursuing the Panther IV there. Nice move there. Johan ignored the Fultz in this case, paid the price. And there you go. Rushing hit. There you go. Using heat rounds to get off a few extra hits there. Bold. Bit risky there. But it pays off. He pulls back the Panther IV halfway to Veteran T3 now. Meanwhile, screwing the northern half of their way from him. victory points wise. You can see that Johan is actually getting a nice lead there over Gerhardt in general. So he was actually just gaining a lot of the map there from Gerhardt, a lot of the map. Panzer Force going to need some repairs there though. Has seen a lot of combat, a lot of damage, a lot of action for the fatherland. Graham the fuel pond is suppressed by the Vickers machine gun, doing what he can there. Will he go for the Sturmtiger? Yes, he does. Go for the Sturmtiger. Haven't seen those in a bit. Initially used during the Warsaw Uprising to deal with any sort of fortified position there by the Polish freedom fighters. But later he used it here and there. And I believe it also used to doing some tank engagements on the Western Front, like 1945, where apparently, you know, the Sherman took a direct hit from that one. It pretty much was dead, unsurprisingly. So a little fun fact there. But not many of them were generally produced. Crumb pulling back. Not sure what Johan is planning there. Again, there's no fireflies yet. Is he aiming for the crocodile now? And up north, the Orbs on pushed back by the commando and the officer there. 6 kills, veteran fleet. 14 kills, almost veteran fleet. There we go, quick mills bomb and quick retreat. More right on the south though, we can see Johan continues to maintain map control here versus Gerhardt. I mean, if you get that to veteran fleet, that would be great. In particular, be even better there with heat rounds. Of course, the high rate of fire just combined with heat rounds can allow him to just really do a lot of damage to those tanks. So, I mean, that would not be a bad thing at all. 6 Pentagon on the way there for Johan to help deal with the armour. In fact, he's already got one out, but he's just been so long in getting it, only now and again. Well, things are getting unpleasant. In fact, he's going for an anti-tank gun, which is reasonably well countered by the Sturmtiger, so it kind of ends up being a weird choice, but he should have cleared out sooner and then only goes for it once his opponent, you know, pretty much brings out one of the hard counters. So that's a bit weird. That is a bit weird. Certainly not the fully best, but again, he's clearly trying to buy time here for the crocodile, pretty much pinning all hopes on the crocodile, burning its way through all the hands and burning away to Berlin. Meanwhile, though, his men are getting slaughtered. They're not slaughtered, but certainly killed. The Panther Force certainly having a fun time. They're certainly repairs, and there you go. We got the 6 Pentagon moving in. That's going to force the Panther Force away here. We got the lightning guns that buying the civil support. Cromwell trying to move from the north here. But there you go, flank people like Ken if it cut loose, so that'd be a pretty big loss there for Johan. Almost needs to retreat. That's gonna be too late, it's too late, it's too late, it's too late. Ah! Kaput. He lost his second Cromwell. Now Johan has no tanks. He's only got 2 6 guns again versus a Sturmtiger. Well, that was a bit of a wasted shot. All of a sudden, things looking a bit more grim for Johan. Looking a bit more grim. Sturmtiger there getting to work reloading. Artillery fire there, troops advancing. Quick grenades. Getting a few kills with those. And there you go, Sapper's almost wiped here by the incessant artillery fire there from his light artillery battery there. Panzer good to go again, 17 kills for Germany. Johan still maintaining most of the map here in terms of control, but he is certainly struggling though with it. He's struggling increasingly more again, losing that second crumble. Definitely not doing any favours. In that regard, it's also important to note that Johan, compared to Gerhardt, hasn't really done much with flanking, whereas Gerhardt again has sort of been more actively a flanker and harasser versus Johan, so that's also, I think, given sort of Gerhardt some advantage tactically, but also there's a big difference in force composition and size, well, size specifically, because again, he's currently trying to bank everything on the crocodile. Looking at a tank gun, doesn't want it. And there you go, Germany to attack Norfolk's got the opposite commanders there. Quick light cannon bomb. Note by the way that the Germans, specifically their top spec ops guy, his name is rather escaping me at the moment for whatever reason, possibly due to the heat, was actually really impressed by the silent standing gun. In fact, they would use whatever captured examples they could get their hands on for themselves. Little fun fact there, actually. 6-pounder gun there, landing a good hit on the Panther 4. Down to half health there, but also still very close, closing in then Veteran Fleet. I mean, not too far off. There could be a real threat there to Johan's men, and for that matter, any army called in. I mean, with heat rounds of Veteran 3 Panther 4 could, in theory, actually, you know, threaten a Churchill with a bit of good manoeuvring. There you go. Sturmtiger shoots and annihilates a full unit. Nothing left of them. Up north here, falls with the section there. Grenades going off, falls when the section falls back. The grenade throw wasn't too good there for him. Johan's forces increasingly bleeding out again. He's putting so many eggs into that crocodile-shaped basket right now, and it's certainly the question is, can the basket actually contain all these? Oh, he's calling in sappers. He's further delaying it. He really should not be delaying it right now. If he actually wants to go for it, he has to go for it now. Otherwise, again, he'd be much better served off with just going for a Firefly sooner, because that Firefly could have threatened the Panther 4 and the Sturmtiger a lot better. So right there, I've definitely described that one as a strategic error. Lost his machine gun crew as well, his remaining machine gun crew there to the Panther 4 Sturm Pioneer combo. Pretty nasty work. There we go. Offset in the centre, taking hits from the light infantry guns. Sturmtiger there. Almost got to again for the fatherland as well. Wrecking the Vickers. Again, he doesn't want that one either. He's perfectly satisfied with his MG-34. Oh, that World War I nonsense there. Except for the rifles. And he's even using, in this case, signal relay. He's trying to check out if Johan's got any tanks elsewhere. He's trying to predict him. In this case, he pops in the Crocodile around the same time. We'll have to see what actually sort of appears there. In time, in fact, might just now around the battlefield itself before it ends up. Still, Crocodile out here for Johan, with its flamethrower mounted there instead of the whole machine gun. And there we go. Almost got the 6-pounder gun crew there. Almost. Troops reinforcing, healing. Actually, not much reinforced because again he had to spend all the resource again on the Crocodile. Again, his head-on attacks here have not exactly proven very fruitful for Johan, but on the other hand, very fruitful for Gerhardt. Now the assault's going to happen there. Crocodile straight into the Kenneth and the Panther 4. Got the Sturmtiger moving down as well, slowly but surely. Very quietly. And there you go. Shots fired. Puts one straight into the fire set. Yeah, burning up pretty horribly there. Panther 4 firing. Does pop the heat rounds, but at this point might be a bit. No, he does continue here against the Crocodile. Does continue. Shot bounced of both of them. But now they go with the 6-pounder gun to crew. They need to pull back the Panther 4 before it's too late. Before it is too late. Sturmtiger moving down there. Could knock out the glider at the very least there with its rocket. Panther 4 down to half health. There goes, shoots and wipes the section. Glider took surprise little damage, but at least one unit got annihilated there by it. Commanders are taking hits from the Panther 4. Some light infantry guns. Another retreat here from the commandos in the face of increasingly overwhelming German resistance. Struggling to break the Germans. More smoke popped. Sturmtiger reloading again. Panther 4 there. I mean, with elite armor, Panther 4 ends up being a pretty solid choice when you think about it, because again, with elite armor, it can generally sort of do pretty well versus other tanks. So, in that regard, for those players who keep going for the Panther 4 no matter what, I'm surprised they don't just go, you know, elite armor, go for some heat rounds, at the very least. Double came to deal with the Crocodile. More raid operation. It's nice to see someone actually make use of it, though. There you go. Savage being slaughtered here by the Panther 4. Crocodile moves out there again, engaging. 6-pounder gun coming from the southern victory point. Need to clear that one out. Almost got the sappers there. Almost. There you go. Heat rounds again. Sturm Pass going down the deal with the 6-pounder gun. At which point he can actually allow himself to try and outmaneuver the crocodile. There we go. Closing in on Vetri 4 pretty rapidly. This is moving to deal with the 6-pounder gun. More hits there. Taking a hit there. Veteran G4 gain for the Panther 4. Veteran G4 gain. Almost got the 6-pounder gun as well. There we go. There we go. Crocodile almost dead here, but the Panther 4's also giving it worse for wear. Still, it's in a better condition overall. Knight has better range and sort of get to the right. Oh, never mind. We got the Storm Tiger moving in. Gonna apply the finishing blow and got it. Cut the Crocodile with the Storm Tiger. Leaving now Johan with pretty much nothing left. And Gerhardt here with an almost Veteran T5 or 8 Panzer IV here. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. With this, Johan is pretty much dead. 7th Armoured Assault here in the sectors failed, and there we go, victory for the 12th SS, victory for Germany, the Oberkommando West here. I think to the extent just coming down to good handling there by Gerhardt with his heat rounds in the Panzer IV, but also just some good flanking, good manoeuvring in that regard. Johan was something to think much too tunnel vision there in the southern half there. He never tried to outmaneuver his opponent. He wasn't very good at flanker there, which again tends to be a flaw with some players. But again, Gerhardt, I think, had a much more flexible mind, allowing him to just outmaneuver Johan there, despite Johan just only getting initially good foot in there, plus the fact that Johan just didn't take up when he could have. I think should have rather allowed Gerhardt to push ahead and win the fight. So there you go. I mean, he did make some interesting moves with the dogs, but ultimately it's just not enough if you can't maneuver well as well and just take up well. So there you go. GG, game over. Thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This is Imperial signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.